Fawn. So pure and sweet, a true essence that we cannot afford to dispense. It frolics and plays in the meadow, a picture of purity and perfection, oh. But alas, there are those who lay traps for its rose. Their heart is cruel and heartless, a despicable act that's quite senseless. I watched in horror and disbelief as the fawn met its untimely grief. The world seems full of brutality that snuffs out life in its totality. As I listen to the mourning cries of the parent fawn whose heart now dies, I'm reminded of the fragility of life and the consequences of causing such strife. I wish I could turn back time to save that fawn so sublime, but all I can do now is to mourn and hope that someday no innocent will be forlorn. Once upon a time, in a peaceful suburban neighborhood nestled amidst rolling hills and blooming gardens, there lived a community that reveled in the beauty of nature. Among its residents was a young poet who had a profound connection with the natural world. She found solace in the melodies of birds, the rustling of leaves, and the graceful presence of the creatures that called her neighborhood home. One sunny morning, as she sat in her favorite spot on the porch, her gaze wandered to the sprawling lawn across the street. There, she spotted a delicate fawn, its tiny hoofs playfully prancing on the freshly mowed grass. Enchanted by the sight, her heart overflowed with joy, for she saw in that fawn the embodiment of innocence. But fate is often an unpredictable companion. As she turned her attention away for just a moment, a tragic incident unfolded. From the corner of her eye, she noticed a neighbor hastily approaching the fawn with an object in his hand. It was a bucket, ominously filling up with crimson liquid. Horror gripped her heart as she realized the neighbor intended to harm the innocent creature. Moved by her strong sense of justice, she immediately dialed the emergency number and reported the situation to the authorities. She pleaded with them to intervene and protect the fawn's life. However, to her dismay, the response she received was disheartening. The voice on the other end dismissed her concerns, deeming the fawn's life as worthless. In that moment, she experienced a profound sense of injustice that left her questioning the very system meant to safeguard society. Despite the authorities' indifference, she couldn't bear to witness the fawn's demise. In a desperate attempt to save it, she rushed across the street, only to arrive too late. The fawn lay lifeless, its innocence extinguished, leaving her overcome with grief. As she knelt beside the fallen creature, she heard a sorrowful cry from a distance. It was the fawn's parent, desperately searching for its lost young one. In that heartbreaking moment, she realized the weight of her own sorrow paled in comparison to the grief of the fawn's parent. She understood the profound impact of injustice on the lives of the innocent, a lesson etched into her heart forever. Filled with determination, she vowed to stand up against injustice, to lend her voice to those who couldn't speak for themselves. News of the tragic incident spread through the neighborhood like wildfire, awakening the residents' sense of compassion and solidarity. They joined forces, organizing peaceful protests and raising awareness about the need for justice and protection of the innocent. The community's unified voice resonated beyond their neighborhood, capturing the attention of the wider world. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, her dedication and the community's unwavering resolve brought about change. The authorities recognized the need for reform, implementing measures to ensure fairness and empathy in their response to distress calls. The incident with the Fawn became a turning point, inspiring countless individuals to stand up for what is right and protect the vulnerable. Through the tragedy that befell the Fawn and the subsequent triumph of justice, the community learned a powerful moral. They understood that innocence, like fragile porcelain, must be nurtured and protected. Each person held a responsibility to guard the vulnerable, for it was in the collective commitment to justice that society could truly flourish. And so, the neighborhood transformed into a beacon of hope, a place where innocence thrived and injustice had no place to hide. The memory of the Fawn lingered as a reminder, a symbol of the community's determination to safeguard all that was pure and unspoiled. And in the hearts of the residents, the Fawn's spirit lived on, forever cherished as a testament to the power of compassion and the pursuit of justice. Lost in the clouds. Lost in the clouds, I soar up high. On cloud 9, with the bluest sky. The happiness I feel, oh so grand. But love is like drifting sand. The clouds blanket my heart with glee, but love's reality I cannot see. I'm blinded by this cloud 9 thrill, but soon enough, it'll go downhill. Thinking love would bring the perfect high, but sometimes it's just a fleeting lie. The clouds will dissipate, and so will I. Left alone, wondering why. Lost in the clouds, my heart does roam, realizing love won't always feel like home. The height of happiness may be grand, but sometimes it's best to land. Deep within the heart of a lush forest, there lived a woman whose spirit danced with the rhythms of nature. Her presence commanded attention, and her beauty was a reflection of the untamed wilderness that surrounded her. She possessed a strength that radiated from within, and her beauty emanated from her unwavering spirit. She had always been captivated by the idea of love, the notion of finding that one person who would sweep her off her feet and make her heart feel weightless, like floating on clouds. And so, she embarked on a journey to discover the heights of love, unaware of the lessons it had in store for her. As she navigated the tumultuous sea of emotions, her heart became entangled in the enchantment of a blossoming romance. Like a bird in flight, she soared to cloud 9, her spirit lifted by the bluest sky. The happiness she felt was intoxicating, filling every corner of her being with a warmth she had never known. In the embrace of this newfound love, the woman saw a future painted with vibrant colors, a tapestry of dreams woven with threads of hope. The clouds that wrapped around her heart felt like a protective blanket, shielding her from the realities that lay beyond their cotton-like embrace. But love, like drifting sand, is both beautiful and elusive. It can slip through the cracks of one's fingers, leaving behind a sense of longing and confusion. As time passed, the woman's cloud 9 thrill began to wane, and the rose-tinted glasses she had worn so proudly began to lose their luster. She realized that while the clouds had given her respite from the trials of life, they had also obscured her vision. The love she had once believed to be eternal and all-encompassing began to reveal its cracks and imperfections. The initial enchantment had faded, leaving her standing at the precipice of reality. Her heart, once draped in the glee of the clouds, now felt heavy with uncertainty. The clouds that had once shielded her from the truth now dissipated, and she found herself facing the inevitable descent. The love she had cherished so dearly slipped through her fingers, leaving her feeling adrift and alone. As the clouds dispersed, the woman embarked on a journey of self-discovery. She realized that the height of happiness she had experienced was indeed grand, but it was not sustainable in its ethereal form. Love, she learned, required more than just soaring on cloud 9. It required grounding, understanding, and acceptance. Through the pain and heartache, the woman discovered her own strength. She learned that love is not always a comfortable home. Sometimes it is a wild adventure, full of peaks and valleys. She realized that landing, though initially terrifying, was a necessary step in finding true fulfillment and self-acceptance. In time, the woman emerged from the shadows of lost love, her spirit resilient and her heart wiser. She carried the lessons learned from her Cloud 9 journey, understanding that love is not a destination but a continuous voyage. She embraced the imperfections of life and love, knowing that they are what make the journey worthwhile. With newfound clarity, she spread her wings once more, ready to navigate the skies with a blend of hope and caution. Love would always be a part of her story, but now she understood that it was just one chapter in a much larger narrative, one that encompassed self-discovery, growth, and the pursuit of a life well lived. As the woman soared through the ever-changing skies, her heart no longer lost in the clouds, she knew that she was destined for greatness. Love, she realized, was not just found in the heights of Cloud 9 but in the moments of landing, where vulnerability and resilience intertwined. And in that understanding, she found a love that was both grounded and uplifting, a love that would guide her through the ever-changing horizons of her life.
In Soulscape's realm, your spirit did glide. Like, subscribe, and let the bell be your guide. Share your musings in the comments below. Together, through poetry, our souls shall grow.